and welcome to day 17 of Vlogmas. I've got this far and not got confused yet. I am just home. It is actually still a little bit, well, it's 3:20. So the boys will be on their way home. They are getting picked up today by my next door neighbour because we have a week of chaos when it comes to school runs, because the junction that I need to take the kids to school on my way to the studio is going to be closed for the next 2 weeks. And it's pretty much the junction that anyone who lives on my estate will use to get to the school. There are alternatives, but they add a good kind of 5-10 minutes to the journey. And both of the alternatives go past other primary schools, which means that the traffic outside of those primary schools will be absolute chaos. So yeah, we're trying to find ways around it as much as possible. So I think most of the week they'll be able to walk in with my next door neighbour, because he works from home most of the time, and he is happy to have the boys tag along on the way into school. Then tomorrow is not an issue because, well, it is. I'm just going to have to take the diversion. I'm going to have to leave work early, take the diversion, but I've got to pick the kids up anyway because I've got to drive them to the art class, and that's not something I can do walking. Wednesday they're at after school club, so it's less of an issue because time pressure is less of an issue to get to the school to pick them up later in the evening. Thursday's the day that's going to be the tricky one. I'm pretty sure they'll be able to walk in with next door, but I will either have to leave work early on Thursday to come and pick them up, or yeah, just anyway, added complications. But yeah, they are on their way home with our next door neighbours, so that is fine. I promised you yesterday I would do a Advent catch-up, because that's not the right one, because I hadn't been doing it very well, and I was going to do it at the studio, and then I got to the studio and I caked everything up and I sorted all the yarn out, and I realised I was missing some because they were in this project bag which I had left at home. So yeah, I didn't have what I needed, but I do have what I needed now. So how am I going to do this? I think it might be easier actually to lay the colours out on the table and flip you around and do it that way, I think. So here is the Lonely Knitter Advent of all of time and space, Doctor Who inspired. I've already knit days 1 and 2 into my Habitation throw, and I'm currently on day 3. And then here are the rest in order. All the way up to day 15, day 16, which I opened today. So pretty. There are big grey clouds coming across and the sun is starting to set. I am desperately trying to show these before I lose all the light. But this is the Blue Fern Yarns Apothecary Advent. I'm really enjoying the fade in this one. I'm thinking this might be one that has to become a garment of some kind. Can you see the big grey clouds I'm racing? We're definitely going to lose some light soon. And finally, here is the Henny Penny Makes Skyscapes Advent Calendar. There are 2 random minis that for some reason haven't managed to get caked up. I'm not sure how I missed those, but I shall take them back to the studio and get them finished off. And we are heading now into some purples. One thing we haven't talked about a lot during Vlogmas this year, which is strange considering how it's become a big new thing on my channel this year, is books. And I think that's partly because I did mention the other day that I wasn't having a great reading month in December and I'd already DNF'd 2 books. And yeah, I'm just struggling to find the time to read this month. I'm hoping that'll change once we actually get away for Christmas, because there'll be a lot more time. I won't be working and fitting in all kinds of bits and pieces. So I will be enjoying a bit more time sitting down with books. But I thought, seeing as we haven't really chatted books, we might do a bookshelf tour. Do you fancy a bookshelf tour? My bookshelves are chaotic. I particularly felt it when my friend Leanne came round after the craft day, because she has these beautifully curated bookshelves. Everything has a place, everything knows where it belongs. and I really don't. Mine are, maybe the authors are together. Books kind of just get shoved on the shelves when they arrive, and that's about it, really. I am hoping at some point to sort it out, and in fact Leanne suggested maybe making it a video for the channel, so I might do that. We might do a big bookshelf sort out at some point, but for now you get a tour of the chaos that is my bookshelf. Up until, I would say, well, the beginning of this year, up until I got the studio. I moved into the studio in April, May time. And before that, this room that we're in now, which we call the library, but as you'll see, I will spin you around. This room that we are in now, if I spin you around here as well, there's the window. We call this the library in our house. But it's nothing fancy. It literally has 2 bookshelves in, but we needed a name for it, and that worked and made us happy. So up until April, May time, this was my office for the business. The entirety of Giddy Yarns was run out of this room and the utility room where I used to dye the yarn. It was chaos towards the end of being in the house, I have to say. I was literally tripping over things constantly. Moving into the studio has made such a massive, massive difference. But yeah, so until then, I was very much a Kindle reader because we just didn't have space in the house for bookshelves, so we didn't really have space for physical books at all, so I would read everything on Kindle. And then when I moved out and we moved bookcases in, those bookcases very quickly got filled with books. I think Worldcon in August, when I vended at Worldcon, which is the World Science Fiction and Fantasy Convention, it was amazing. It was such a good time. Yeah, absolutely incredible. If you check out my August, I did a big August vlog. That has some of the footage of Worldcon in, if you want to check that out, if you're curious. But yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. But there was a massive, massive literary presence in that. And we got so carried away because I was earning as well. And I bought so many books at Worldcon. It was ridiculous. But yeah, books have migrated into our house considerably, and it's not just me. Anyway, I am just rambling now. Shall I turn you around and give you a bit of a tour? I will step back to start with. So these are the 2 bookcases we've got. They're nothing fancy. They're just IKEA Billy bookcases. And as you can see, kind of most of it has books on. And then right down at the bottom is where we store our Lego, although the kids got all of the Lego out this morning. So the Lego is actually just on the floor and I need to not trip over it while I'm doing this. Here come the kids, they're just coming home. So yeah, that's often where we store the Lego, and then it's a bit scruffy down the bottom as well. But here we go, we will start from the top. Hello boys.
Hello.
Did you have a good day at school?
Yes.
Good.
We finished off the wreath.
Ah, awesome. So sorry about that, slight distraction. Top shelf, again, as I said, they're not in very particular order. I will point out ones that I'm most excited for. The Song of Achilles here. I've been wanting to read this for ages and I just really need to get round to it, definitely. A Tempest of Tea was one of our Patreon book club picks for November and December, and I'm really annoyed that I haven't got to it yet. Into the Drowning Deep. This copy is signed by, Mira Grant is also known as Seanan Maguire, and I went to a panel at Worldcon and got the book signed, which was really nice and personalised to me as well. Oh, I can't get that one back in. Oh, same with this one, Rendered Flesh. So David Cartwright was opposite me at Worldcon. He had a stall. Yeah, he had a stall opposite me, and I am obsessed with zombies, and this is basically, sorry for that distraction, slight misunderstanding about the recycling. I love zombies, anything to do with zombies. Walking Dead is my comfort TV. This is basically like what happens if you got stuck in a zombie RPG. But again, he personalised it and signed it for me. He was a lovely guy, really, really patient with the kids as well, because they were with us for Worldcon. These are all special editions. A lot of them are from Illumicrate and things like that. Some of them I picked up at Worldcon for a bargain at the Illumicrate stall towards the end of the show. And some of them are not. This one, I absolutely love this. So this one is from a woman called Peggy's Pages on Instagram. She has an Etsy shop and her own website now as well. She hand paints sprayed edges. So these sprayed edges have been hand painted by her. And this is a very, very simple version, but some of what she does is absolutely stunning. So I strongly suggest you check it out. What else have we got? Oh, this is funny. So the Joe Abercrombie books, again, I've not read these ones yet, but I picked up The Blade itself at Worldcon because is it Gallants who do? I'm trying to remember if that's the publisher. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I picked it up at Worldcon because they were having a sale right at the end, half price off all the books kind of thing. And then a few weeks later, I went into our charity shop down the town and found the second book in the trilogy in the charity shop for £1. So I picked that one up. And then a week later, I was in the charity shop again and I found the third one for £1. So I picked that up. So I've got the whole trilogy and 2 of them came from the charity shop. It was very handy. I've got a couple of library books that I've picked up. They kind of need to be got to first. I'm loving my little Lego succulents. Tom got me this set a little while ago, so you might have seen the ones up here as well. Oh, I knocked one over. Little Lego succulents. It comes with 3 little sets of 3. I've only made 2 of them so far, but they're very cute. We also have a little ghosty and a little mushroom there. And then coming down here, there are more books. I don't know what to say about them all, really. There's a real mix of genres and stuff. Here is my stack of Christmas books that I am supposed to be reading during December. I picked this one up the other day in Aldi because I wanted some more kind of thrillery stuff rather than just it all being romance. This is one. This is my... Right, I was actually going for behind this, but this is my stack of bookmarks. I might share some of those in a minute. I was heading for this because this I was very excited about and definitely want to get round to reading. So this is... Oh no, I've dropped it. We'll try that again. This is Alice in Borderland. How many of you have seen the TV series on Netflix? I absolutely loved it. It's brilliant. The idea of this group of friends who get stuck in kind of an alternate reality, I guess, where they have to compete in games in order to validate a visa so that they can stay alive in the world, and all the games are based on playing cards. But yeah, I was very, very excited to find that they have now done an English translation of the manga that the TV series is based off. So I've got the first one. I'm definitely hoping to read more. Let's put that back. What else have we got down here? Bits and pieces, really. Lots of different books. I'm excited for these ones. So Becky Chambers wrote the Wayfarer series. The Wayfarer... Is it Wayfarer? I can't remember now. Long Way to a Small and Angry Planet and other ones in that kind of world, and they were brilliant. I absolutely loved them. I don't have physical copies of any of them, but this is another little series she's done. They're little novellas, A Psalm for the Wild Built, and it's all about a robot, basically. So basically the concept is that the robots revolted and left the human world behind and went to live in the wild, and we follow a tea monk, who I'm assuming is that person there. We follow a tea monk as they go exploring into the wild and meet a robot and try to kind of come to terms with robots coming back to the human world, I think is the idea. But they are very, very cute little books. Brandon Sanderson. I have not read any Brandon Sanderson. Tom has. He's read the first one and I desperately need to read the first one, but I haven't got round to it yet. Do we need to go lower? What's down here? Bridgerton. I've not read those yet, but I keep meaning to. And then let's move over to these shelves. So at the top, I've got mostly my craft books. There's a few craft books at the studio, but then there's a few kind of craft books up here as well. And then this shelf is mostly Tom's shelf, although this one was mine, Horror Store. This is so much fun. If you've not read it, read it. You need a physical copy though, because it's all set out like an IKEA catalogue, and it's just very, very clever. I bought this for Tom last year and he's not read it yet, and I'm kind of wondering at what point can I steal it and read it. We've got our little pumpkins, which are really, really cute. Robin Hobb. I read these ones on Kindle, but then somebody was selling off their copies for just needing the postage, and I wanted physical copies of them, and Tom wants to read them as well. So yeah, we've got the first 3 in the Realm of the Eldlings series, so that's the first trilogy, and then this is the second trilogy. I've read these ones. This is the next chunk that I need to read. And then we've got a few other bits. We have another bookcase upstairs which has got a lot of our older books on. And then these are ones that I've read. Amazing. The Women by Kristin Hannah, absolutely brilliant. I'll probably talk about it more. I'm going to do a best books of 2024 video at some point. And then we have some of the kids' books. And I know the kids wanted to talk about what some of their favourite books of the year have been. So we might go and see if Arthur wants to do that now. Skandar. Skandar has won this year for us, absolutely. Right, so having talked books and shared my bookshelf, Arthur had some books that he wanted to share with you.
Yes.
Some of his favourites.
Definitely.
So where do you want to start?
Skandar.
Skandar? Okay. This is, Skandar and the first one is called Skandar and the Unicorn Thief. We don't have a physical copy of the first one because we listened to it on audiobook during Worldcon, didn't we? It's by A.F.Steadman. And they're brilliant, aren't they?
Yeah, there's like 5 of them.
4 have been released at the moment. The 5th one's coming out in August. And they're so good. Do you want to explain a little bit about what they're about?
Yes, I do. So, the Skandar books are about Skandar, obviously.
Skandar Smith.
Skandar Smith. And how he's just a normal person, and like there was a world where unicorns were non-existent. They were mythical creatures. And then one day, there were like people came across from like a faraway island and said that unicorns are real, and everyone believed it. And then like people, like every summer solstice, people go away to become unicorn riders, and we watched a unicorn racing cup.
So you're
like F1 but with unicorns.
So you're kind of destined. You're either destined or you're not destined to become a unicorn rider.
Yes.
And if you are destined to become a unicorn rider, then you go off to the island and you open the hatchery door
and you get to
hatch your unicorn. And then they go to the special school called the hatchery, don't they?
Yes. And then, but before they get to the hatchery, they go through this thing where loads of lights shine, and it tells you what element you are. There's 5 elements.
That's right. Yes.
Water, earth, fire, wind,
and spirit, which plays a big part in the story, doesn't it? We can't go for too many details away. We don't want to give spoilers. Basically Skandar goes to this school to become a unicorn rider, and it's very much like a magical school kind of feel, with friends, a friend group and things, but lots of excitement, crazy.
Like Harry Potter, but with unicorns.
And better.
And
if you're looking for something as an alternative to Harry Potter, then Skandar we recommend absolutely wholeheartedly. Right, come on, next one, because otherwise you're going to talk forever.
This one of my favourites. Bunny versus Monkey.
Arthur absolutely loved graphic novels. I think, but as part of his dyslexia, I think it's just something he finds easier to deal with. The Skandar ones we've been reading to him as bedtime stories, but the Bunny versus Monkeys are one that he and Jasper read themselves.
Yeah, so
who's Bunny versus Monkey is? Who's the author?
The author is
Jamie Smarts. Jamie Smarts.
He also writes loads of other books like Lucian, which I've heard of before.
Yeah. Really fun, daft, kind of comic book style graphic novel with animals.
In the woods.
Perfect for kids.
Evil versus good.
You can go on to the next one.
Very good one for if you're bad at reading.
If you're bad at reading. I was going to say, this is one of the first book series that Arthur really got into reading himself. 13-Story Treehouse by
13 books.
Andy Griffiths and Terry Denton.
Yeah, because the main characters are Andy and Terry.
The main characters are Andy and Terry. So they've basically written their fantasy adventures. But the thing
that's... fantasy, it's real.
Okay. The thing that's really nice about it is prose in places, but then there's also like lots of pictures. There's also
like
some
a picture on every page.
Really random bits where you get little...
Barky and the Barking Dog Show.
Barky and the Barking...
That's the best TV show.
Okay. And yeah, they're really good fun. Jasper has been devouring them as well at 8 years old.
Yes.
He absolutely loves them.
Yes, it is. Here's a fun fact. It's called the 13-Story Treehouse series, and there's 13 books in the series.
At the moment, there might be more.
There's probably not.
But yeah, a really good one if you're trying to get your kids into reading.
Yes.
It was definitely the series that got you into reading, wasn't it?
Yes. This next one is a very good one.
We discovered this year, didn't we? We came across the first one. So the series is Wings of Fire by I don't know how to pronounce that. T. Sutherland. I'll pop it on the screen there if the camera will focus on it.
Eep.
There we go. Thank you, Arthur. There we go. So this series is available as both graphic novels and as actual novels. Which I think is really nice that they've kind of done both, so you could read one or the other.
The thing is, it's about dragons. So if you're a dragon lover, it's very good.
It is about dragons, yep. And that's what you really like about it, isn't it?
I actually don't know how many books there are in the series.
There are currently 8, I think. Or the 8th one is being released on Christmas Day. How many have you got so far?
I've got up to
I can't remember. Anyway, there's 8 or 9, something like that.
Here's a bit of the non-graphic novels.
Yeah, we do have the first few because we bought the wrong ones to start with, didn't we? But
we figured 10 on here. There's like 10 on here.
Yeah. So yeah, really good fun graphic novel for kids about dragons.
Yes. Next one, also a very good one.
Okay, again, this is one that we have read to Arthur as like a bedtime story.
Yes.
And this is
Around the Galaxy.
This is the second book in the series. So the first one is called
Which Way to Anywhere.
Which Way to Anywhere?
In here.
Which
Way to Anywhere.
Okay, by Cressida Cowell. We are big fans of Cressida Cowell's books. We have read the entirety of the How to Train Your Dragon series. And it's so much better than the Disney TV series, or it's not TV series, but the Disney version of How to Train Your Dragon doesn't do the books justice. The books are brilliant. We've read the entire 12-book series to Arthur and he loved it. Awesome. And then we've came across this series, which is currently, it's very pretty.
Focus on it.
Which is, it might struggle because it's shiny. We came across this series, which is currently in progress. This is the second book that came out last year. The first one was called Which Way to Anywhere, and this second one is The Which Way Around the Galaxy. And we follow a group of kids who develop special powers as they travel through the witch ways, which are like portals between different dimensions and different galaxies, and stuff like that. There is a crazy little robot. What's the little robot called? I've forgotten what the little robot called. Anyway, there's he called Puck.
Yeah, Puck.
Puck. There's a crazy little robot called Puck and all kinds of crazy characters, and it is an absolutely brilliant series.
Now, let me just find my favourite character.
Oh yeah, this isn't only in the second book, but there we go. And then one final.
Actually, purple and blue.
We're running out of time, Arthur.
Oh, we can skip this one.
Are you going to skip that one?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so there we go. They're his favourite books.
I'll just do it quickly.
Okay, go on.
This one's like the dragon one, but about humans. It's called Amulet.
So again, this is another graphic novel series.
There's like 10 books.
This is another graphic novel series that's really, really good for kids. Who's
it's
it
about
by?
A girl. I don't know, actually.
Tell you on the front of the book.
Kazu Kibushi. Under the Amulet.
Yes, Kazu Kibushi?
Kibushi, yeah.
It's
like the dragon.
There we go. It's a graphic novel, and it's by Scholastic. Yeah. But yeah, really good graphic novel series.
Yes.
I don't really know anything about it, but I kind of want to read it.
But there's one thing left to do before we go.
There is one thing left to do before we finish off today's vlog.
Yes.
And that is...
Joke of the day! What is the difference between a dad joke and a bad joke?
I don't know. What is the difference between a dad joke and a bad joke?
The direction of the first letter.
Ugh. Thank you, Arthur, for that joke. And thank you for watching. We will see you all again tomorrow.
Goodbye.
Bye.